Hey, this is Russ. I'm gonna smoke up a pork butt today. I'm gonna make some pulled pork. As you can see, I have a 22 and a half, an 18 and a half, and a 14 and a half Weber Smoky Mountain. Also have a Weber kettle too, but we're gonna do it up in the 18 and a half Smoky Mountain. So let's get started here. I'm gonna walk over here and light up a wax cube. So as that gets started, let's pour a little bit of charcoal in here. There we go. So now we just wait for that to get lit up and ready to go. All right, in preparation, I'm gonna pour in preparation of all this. I'm gonna pour in some charcoal here, and I'm gonna move it off to the side. So what we're doing is we're creating what we call the minion method. I'm gonna pour the lit charcoal in the middle, and what happens is, as the lit charcoal starts to burn, it'll eventually burn out towards this way. That'll give you a longer burning time. Okay, so today I'm going to be cooking up a 9.6 pound pork butt. And this was on sale for $1.49 a pound. I remember being able to get these for 99 cents a pound, but things are more expensive nowadays. So $1.49 is about the best I was able to get. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to cut this package open. And as you know, pork butt has a lot of fat on it. We're not going to keep all the fat. Some people do. I don't do that. Just dump that in there. I'm going to rinse this off a little bit here. And there's a bone in here. You see how big amount of fat that they have here? A lot. This fat cap, some people keep on there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut it off. So I'm just going to remove it. Because most of this is going to try to be rendered down, but not all of it will be. So for me, I just get rid of it. I don't bother with it. That in itself probably will take off about a pound. So what do we really call this? I think this is more like an 8 pound. Take out the bone, it's probably another pound. So what is that, 7 pounds left? It's not a whole lot left. But you see, there's quite a bit of fat here. And some people like to render it down. They think it keeps the meat moister. Just kind of gets a little greasy. I mean, it's quite a bit, so I take off as much as I can. At least from this part of it, from the fat cap part. There we go. You don't have to be perfect with this. The rest of it will render out of there. Now what I do a little bit differently is I cut this in half. So I see the bone. You see the bone right here? I'll cut it diagonally right here, like this. And the reason I do this is because this speeds up the cooking process. It's not as thick of a piece of meat then. You see there's internal fat in there too. It's not as thick, and so the cooking time is a lot shorter. So a lot of people ask me why a lot of my cooks finish up in 6 or 7 hours, whereas theirs are taking 11 to 12 hours. That's because mine isn't quite as thick. So it's a little trick you can do. I've had very good success doing it this way. Never really been a problem. So there we go. Okay, so now rinse this off a little bit. I'll put this right here. Put that over. All right, so we're using Kick Butt Rib Rub Chipotle Honey. I like this stuff. I bought quite a bit of it. And we're going to shake this on here. Sorry if it looks like it's shaking around because I have a chest mount on my GoPro here. Of course, as I'm shaking, it's shaking the whole thing. We'll see how good the stabilization is. Yeah, you want to put a generous amount on there. You want to cover the entire thing. I'm going to get the sides as well. You know, the one benefit too, if you cut the butt in half, there's more bark. There's more surface. So we'll do that for both sides here. Okay, so I've put rub on the entire surface of the meat at this point. So now we just wait to pour in this charcoal into the 18.5-inch smoker. I fill up the water pan with water. Now some people don't put water in the water pan. They put sand. For me, I put the water in there. Now that's not really there to keep it moist, although I'm sure there's some effects of it. It's really there to regulate the temperature. This will keep the smoker at a lower temperature. So we want to smoke this, I would say at least 265 degrees or lower, if we can. That's really the ideal. That's why it takes so long to cook these things. And we're going to use a temperature thermometer gauge, probes in the meat, and also on the cooking grate. So all we're going to do is keep an eye on that, and if the grate temperature rises too much, we will close the vents a little bit. If it's too low, we'll open the vents a little bit. Now what I did is I bought a pizza pan here, and I will put some aluminum foil on it. I put a little bit of aluminum foil on this pizza pan. What that'll do is that when all the drippings start happening, it'll just drip onto this, which will make it easier for cleanup. So I'll just put that right on top of the water. So it'll just drip onto here, and that'll make my cleanup a lot easier. Alright, so we're going to put this water pan in there. Put the grate back on there. So now, let's take a look to see how we're doing over here. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of stuff going on here, so let's go ahead and pour it in. So I just poured it in the center. I'm going to use some cherry wood. And put that on the outsides. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put a thermometer in here. And what I've done, this is the Thermoworks smoke thermometer. This has a remote control. Well, it's not remote control, it's a remote sensor. And of course, these are probes. So this one's going to go into the meat, and this one's going to be the grate. So I put it in this Tupperware so that if it rains or anything, it doesn't get into the thermometer. And the holes are on the bottom, so that faces the ground, of course. feed this right through the side. So one trick you can do is you could actually put this underneath the grate. It's not too hot. So let me do that. Stick this underneath here. Slide this underneath here. So that's going to monitor the temperature in the grate. This one here will go into the meat. Now you can put two of them since I have two sections, but I'm just going to leave it as one. We're going to let that go until we hit at least 225 or higher. Alright, so we've waited some time, and I wanted to get the temperature up a little higher, so I have this at 265 degrees right now. You also want the smoke to come out as what they consider a thin blue smoke. I don't know if it's actually blue, but it kind of looks like it. You don't want the billowing white smoke, but because that's really dirty smoke. So let's go ahead and put the meat on. We got two sections now. Let's do that. Now I'm going to put this into the middle of one of the meats. And that's it. Now we wait. Okay, it's been about 2 hours, so let's go ahead and give it a little spritz. That's what it looks like. I'm just spraying a little bit of water on it. Some people put apple juice. I've done apple juice in the past. But even a little bit of water is all you need. Okay, it's been 3 hours. I'm going to spritz it again. But I want to show you the remote. The remote is showing us we have a pit temperature of 248.9 and an internal temperature of 152.9. So that's only one of the pork butt, half of the pork butt. So I'm going to check out the other half. Let me put this down here. I'm going to check out the other half with this ThermoWorks Thermopen. So outside temperature currently is about 68 degrees. We'll spritz it too, but let's check the temperature first. So on this particular part of the meat, it's 149. I can feel it too. It's hard to push in, so obviously nowhere close to being ready. This one is 153, so you can see it. There's variances that occur. Let's go ahead and spray it. We're going to be close to the stall anyways, but that's okay. Let's spray the meat. Now we just keep waiting. Okay, I believe it is time to wrap. So let's check out let's see, according to the thermometer, it's 234 degrees on the pit. So pit temperature's dropped a little bit. I think it's time to move the coals around. So I have a fireplace poker to do that, but I'm going to wrap first. So let's check the temperatures anyways. About 150, 154, so 152. So this one is moving a little bit slower than this one is, 159. So depending on where in the area you push into, you get different temperature. So we're going to wrap it. So here's how I'm going to do that. I do a little bit different than some people. This also. So what I have is an aluminum pan filled with a little bit of water. I'm just going to put one in here. I'm going to put the other one right next to it. Okay. There we go. I'm going to replace the probe. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Now the whole point of wrapping is this is going to essentially steam it in there, but it's also going to ramp up the temperature. So it'll make it easier to finish the cook. Now, some people ask, why do we do this? You're not going to let any more smoke in. Well, you're not going to get more smoke. Once it reaches a certain temperature, smoke doesn't get into the meat any further. So I don't know if we can see in there, but we need to move this around a little bit. Sometimes just knocking the ashes off the charcoal will give it a little more life. So you get a little more temperature rising there. There we go. Now I do it with the lid open, because if you don't, all the ashes will just end up right on your meat, and that's why I do it after I've wrapped it. Okay, and let's give it just a little bit more airflow. So I'm adjusting the vent. Now we wait. Okay, it's time to check it out. Let's see how it's turning out here. So this thing has been cooking for the last 6 hours. We're at about 200 degrees, roughly. You see that the probe test is going in pretty easy. This thing is almost done. You see how much juice there is too. I mean, I poured some water in there, but a lot of it's from the meat itself. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm not putting any pressure on this thing. It's just going down into it. So I'm gonna let it run for maybe another 15-20 minutes, something like that. And then I'm gonna take it out and pull it. Yeah, see, at this point, we're not looking for temp. We're looking for how soft this is. I think this thing is ready. Time to pull it out. Okay, so let's pull this. I'm gonna grab one of these. And here's how fast this is gonna come apart. That is pulled pork. Yeah, it's fogging up a bit. Yeah, if you want to make pulled pork yourself, go ahead and do so. It's not that hard. You just need a smoker and get a pork butt. There you go. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys next time.